Hey guys, what's up? I usually don't do videos like this on my channel, but I'm just gonna be doing a top 5 Star Wars vintage collection figures I wish they would re-release, reissue, get out there. This list is mainly gonna consist of figures that have gone up like majorly in price, that are my own personal favorite characters that I would like from this line. And I'll be talking about if I want them to do new molds, talking about their card backs, talking about the overall articulation and quality of the figures themselves, the worth, in my opinion, of these figures. So yeah, I guess we can get started on that. And this isn't really in any given order. I'm just kind of giving my thoughts on each individual figure and like what I feel about them. So number 5, Zam Wessel. I think this is a really cool figure. I don't have this figure. Like most figures on this list, like pretty much every figure on this list, I do not own this. But just seeing reviews, pictures of the figure and stuff like that, I can say that I think this is a really cool figure. It's got a pretty cool card back. The accessories of this figure is pretty awesome. It's got, a blaster pistol, the rifle. It's got that like little face covering that she has. It's drawn to the side and also fully over her face. 2 head scans, which I think is really cool. One showing their like, original form, and then one showing the female form that we see through most of the chase scene on episode 2, Attack the Clones. Overall, I'd say this is a pretty cool figure. The only complaints I'd really have about this is from pictures and stuff like that. Although I think they've got like a pretty cool body scan and everything like that, cool articulation. I'd say for a reissue of this figure, a more current hip mold, hip articulation, like from the new Fennec Shand figure we just recently had come out in the vintage collection. That's a great figure, and it's got really great hips, hip articulation. So something like that on a new Zam Wessel figure would do wonders for this figure. Personally, I think that'd be awesome. And then also if they could do something about the fact that, this figure's like helmet is a little big. It's just a little on the bigger side. But other than that, this is a pretty great looking figure, and I'd really like to see it reissued. So number 4, we got Jango Fett. Everybody loves them some Jango. I remember when I got into the vintage collection, one of the first few figures I went to was Jango. I really wanted a Jango Fett figure, but obviously because it's on this list, it's pretty up there in price, pretty hard to get. But also this figure in terms of articulation and sculpt and everything like that, and mold and all that good stuff, it's pretty outdated by like a while. Like I'd say like 12 years. I had a version of this figure from the Bounty Hunter Evolution 3 pack that was released like hellas ago, like I think like 2008 or something like that. And it was a cool figure, it was a fun figure, but it's like 2022 now, and seeing as how expensive this figure is, I just don't think it's worth what you're getting with a figure. I think it's a cool figure. I just think, the hip articulation, could be updated with the more modern Mandalorian sculpt that we're getting with like the Boba Fett figure and the Death Watch Mandalorian and all the new Mandalorian figures we're getting. I think it would benefit from a sculpt more like that. And then also with the helmet, I'm thinking for a figure like this, interchangeable heads, kind of like the Zam Wessel figure, would do wonders for this figure. Get like a Tamura Morrison sculpt with the headset, and then also just a normal Boba head scan. This isn't really like a huge nitpick. I don't really expect this to happen, but this is just something I've had just like a nitpick of the Mandalorian helmets in general. I think when his like little visor thing on his helmet, I think that should be able to come down. I don't know if that's going to ever be adapted. I personally like the look of these Mandalorian helmets, and maybe that being added to the figure is probably going to like maybe just ruin the look of it, ruin like the tight look of the helmet, but that's not really something like I necessarily need. It's just something I've kind of noticed and kind of, want, but whatever. Overall, this figure, it looks cool. It's got the 2 blaster pistols, comes with the poncho, comes with like the blaster, rocket launcher from the backpack, and the card back is pretty cool too. So pretty much this figure is great. It's not worth the price though, in my opinion. The sculpt is really outdated and it could definitely use a new sculpt. So yeah, that's number 4 on my list. And number 3, being General Grievous. General Grievous has been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. I've always thought he was really cool. You know, watched him in the Clone Wars cartoon and stuff like that. Thought he was really cool there. Revenge of the Sith, I still thought he was cool, even though Lucas definitely dumbed him down to be a little bit weaker. Didn't want him to be too strong. Completely get that. And anyway, this figure is probably the best Grievous figure that fans have had access to, but it's very expensive. It's really hard to come by. Card back isn't super amazing. It's not my favorite out of any of these card backs, to be honest, but it's cool. It's whatever, you know. And he comes with, you know, 2 unlighted hilts and then 2 lighted hilts, 2 lightsabers, you know. 4 in total. It comes with a blaster, comes with this cool cloak. You can fit the hilts in the pockets of the cloak. I think that's really badass. The figure overall is pretty cool. Articulation, I feel like it's pretty hard to get a really good Grievous mold just because he has 4 arms that go into 2, you know, just 2 arms. I feel like it's pretty hard to get like a really solid looking mold of that. I feel like statues obviously do a good job of that, but you know, figures, it's kind of tougher. I've heard people say that the Black Series Grievous is the worst Black Series figure, and I've also heard that it's like the best Black Series figure. That's just what I've heard. I never owned that physical figure as well as this one. No real complaints about this body scan. If they can do any improvements about it, that'd be really awesome. The only thing I could really say for sure about this figure that I'd really like is, you know, maybe cover up the pin joints on his like upper shoulders and his knees. I don't know if they'd be able to do that, but I think that'd be pretty cool if they could do that. I'm also pretty sure that you can remove his chest plates, like how Obi-Wan removes it in Revenge of the Sith on this figure. So that's really cool. Yeah, so really cool figure. Hope we can get a reissue of this at some point. It's long overdue. Same thing with Jango. And then got number 2, got Commander Gree. Commander Gree, pretty cool. I mean, honestly, you could also maybe switch this one out with Rsing. I feel like that figure could also use a reissue. But I'm just going to use Commander Gree just for the sake of, you know, I think it's a great figure, and he's a really cool clone to me. So he's got a great look. Got a really cool card back with the neon greens and stuff like that. I think it looks really great. He comes with his binoculars, removable helmet, revealing like the clone face scan. Comes with his blaster. Overall, it's a pretty cool figure. I think it could probably maybe use like a sculpt update, you know, with like the more modern clone sculpt. But other than that, I'd say it's a pretty solid figure. It is significantly gone in price, up in price since, you know, release. So a re-release of this figure is definitely wanted, I think, from a lot of people. You can get the Saga collection version of this or whatever, you know, or the Legacy collection, and still be satisfied, I think. It's just, you know, this one comes with like wrist articulation, a little bit more articulation, so I feel like this is one that belonged on the list. But also, you know, I feel like it's fair maybe to put Aura in the number 2 spot too, just as like a split. I didn't want to make this a top 6, and I didn't really think about putting Aura in there, but I just remembered, oh yeah, she's another vintage collection figure that majorly probably needs a re-release. They just recently, a little while ago, released a Black Series version of Rsing, which is a pretty great figure. I have that one. And they made this Aura mold like a while ago, and I have that mold. That's actually one of these figures I do have. I didn't buy it though from the vintage collection. I bought it from its like first original release. It's a pretty great figure. Comes with 3 lightsaber hilts. Sorry, not holts. Comes with a briefcase that you can hold them into. Comes with a blaster rifle, 2 pistols. It's a pretty great figure. It has some decent articulation. I feel like maybe a modern sculpt with modern hip articulation, ankle articulation, like torso articulation would probably do this figure wonders. Maybe even a new head scan. So yeah, I'm kind of cheating a little bit adding Rsing in this, but I know a lot of people want to get their hands on that original card back and stuff like that, and that figure in general. It's a pretty great figure. I'd say I really like that figure. Given that I own this figure, I could say it's really awesome. But I know most people getting this figure, it's going to cost them an arm and a leg, and you probably want to take it off card. So for people that want to display their figures, I really think they should release this figure. You can get 2 of them. With a new mold or without a new mold, doesn't matter. I think it's a great figure. So yeah, I'm kind of cheating there with Commander Gree and Rsing in the number 2 spot. It's kind of a top 6, whatever. Anyway, number 1, I'm going with Commander Cody, Clone Commander Cody, Phase 2. from Revenge of the Sith. I think it's a great card back. I think overall it's a really cool figure. It looks like it has great articulation. Comes with Obi-Wan's lightsaber hilt. Uh, comes with his blaster rifle. Comes with the Order 66 Palpatine hologram. It's really cool. It's got a removable helmet with the clone face scan. You know, what else can I say? I think, you know, if they wanted to update it with a modern clone mold, that would be cool. Either way, I think this is a cool figure, and I'd love a reissue of this figure. It's gone up in price, obviously, like the rest of these. Don't even really need to say that, but yeah, it's a really cool figure. I think all 6 of these figures deserve some kind of reissue or re-release, you know, at some point. You know, with new molds, without new molds. I just like to get my hands on any of these for the Rsing, which I already told you I have, but I didn't even plan on putting her in this list. But these are just some of my, you know, top 6 now, I guess, figures that I'd like re-release, reissued in the Star Wars Vintage Collection. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I didn't really plan on doing a video like this, so it was kind of just like last second I decided to go for it, but hope you all enjoyed this video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you always.